What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We out here with some more George Carlin. It's time we checking out the American Dream. Let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up.
True, lasting American, the only true, lasting American value that's left, buying things. Buying things. People spending money they don't have on things they don't need. Money they don't have on things they don't need. So they can max out their credit cards and spend the rest of their lives paying 18% interest on something that costs $12.50. And they didn't like it when they got it home anyway. Not too bright, folks. Not too fucking bright. But
Yeah, see, I think the bigger issue there is the fact that little small purchases always add up. You know what I mean? I also suffer from that kind of like the nickel and diming myself, and I think that's what he means. Not just a single purchase of something that costs $12, but multiple ones, and then you look back on all your purchases and you realize all this interest adding up, and you're like, I feel like a lot of us come to that realization once we break it down like that. And you're like, wow, But I don't know if anybody ever kind of gets down, when they're going through their finances, kind of break it down like that to see the actual realization of what's going on. So he's on to something there.
But if you talk when they got it home anyway, not too bright, folks, not too fucking bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, and you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions, right away they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They say we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. And you say to them, well, we've tried all of that, and the kids still can't pass the test. They say, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil.
You know what, man? George Carlin always hitting the nail. Always hitting the nail. And I feel like his style of comedy, right, that he's kind of just always telling the truth, like just bare bone, like cold facts and everything. And some people might find that it hurts a little bit too much because he's saying nothing but truth. But what he just said kind of reminded me of this physics college class that I took when I was in high school and everything. And him saying, well, we'll just lower the passing grade. I'm pretty sure the teacher knew that none of us was getting it because she kept saying, you understand? You understand? Every time she would explain something. And we took the final test. And I swear on everything, I know we all should have bombed, but she ended up giving us all a C. She either ignored what our test results were, or she just lowered it and just graded on a horrendous curve or a great curve and gave everybody else a C. Made us feel good, right? But I don't remember an ounce of it.
It's another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there. It's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do. Education. Politicians know that word. They use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind 3 things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start, left behind. Someone's losing fucking ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy.
But if you want to keep us dumb.
The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. Mm-hmm. And they own all the big media news, all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want.
Yep, and then one of the most common source of lobbying disinformation or you know what? Never mind. Let George tell it.
Here, lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that.
I'm telling you, this is straight facts, right? And what I like to think is that those who do kind of come out and they start challenging kind of like the status quo with like facts or like really start thinking or critical thinking or breaking things down as to why things are, most of the time it's against the popular vote, right? Or do you start asking yourself, like, why is this a popular vote? Why am I getting all this hate and everything for something that I broke down and explained wrong? You know, we all run into that, right? We would hear something and we're just like, that doesn't make any sense. How are you guys believing this? And then the person who you're arguing against either changes the narrative or does some type of wizardry to steal all your momentum back, right? And you're just sitting there left like, I just can't do it. Like, you just leave, you know what I mean? I've been in that situation.
Doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. You know something? They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back. So they...
Bro, this, once again, spitting facts. There was this video I watched that said stop exchanging time for money and task for cash. And I think his name was Roberto Blake, I believe. You guys go check out his YouTube channel. He gives really great advice. But one of the things that he was saying in there was that regardless, if you starting at like level 1 at your job, you're working very hard, right? And the other person is working so. It doesn't matter the amount of work and the amount of experience that you brought, you're still going to get paid the same. Versus exchanging tasks for cash. Let's say that I was an artist and I can draw something, I can draw it really real, but it took me 5 hours. I would charge some money and everything. But as I started gaining more experience and everything, I can start charging more because it fit my experience. That doesn't happen that often in 9 to 5s. So yeah, start paying you less and less, but demanding a whole lot more without any type of additional compensation.
Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hardworking people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hardworking people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all.
Yeah, I like to think that, especially when it comes to politicians, everybody's sitting around and we see this in movies and everything and just kind of brainstorming different type of activity, brainstorming what they can do to kind of get like a vote to sway their way. And when they do these brainstorming sessions, they start thinking, oh yeah, that would be a good one. We can do that to get them to do this and everything. And, I guess it's a form, advertisement and marketing and everything. But when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, it's like you're just a number. And they rehearse all these really honeyed words and make things sound very nice. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear and everything. And kind of disillude you to like really think about what's going on, right? It's very difficult to unveil that illusion from our eyes. Ignorance is bliss.
Man, And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Ooh, man, that's American dream, because you got to be asleep to believe it. You know, there is this other video that I was looking at. What was it? I was referring to America kind of being like a casino. I can't remember which one I was looking. Oh, it was that newsroom. I was referring it to being a casino because, like a casino, you're unaware of what's going on the outside until somebody comes in and pulls you out, right? Because there's no shades. There's nothing going around. There's drinks and stuff going around. There's all these incentives to keep your attention honed in on this specific thing and then keep you going and going and going. And before you know it, time has passed. You don't know what's going on. A week has passed, but you just had this illusion over your face, right? But yeah, I'll say it again. I say it in that reaction, but you know, sometimes being in America is like a casino. You know what I mean? But this is definitely like topics you could just talk all day about. You know what I mean? I often thought about like just streaming and just talking about stuff, but I don't like to get too political, but I do like to look at these type of things every now and then, you know, to kind of keep my thinking on track. You know what I mean? Especially people like George Carlin, who just kind of tell it straight as is, because a lot of us need hard truths because we've been fed so many, you know, untruths that hard truth come and smack us up, but we'd be so glad at the end of it once we wake up and you're like, oh wow, right? It's kind of like waking up from the Matrix, you realizing what the real world looks like. All right, y'all, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.